What's poppin' gamers? It is me, Leon, with a brand new 7 quick tips video. Today we're going to be talking about country farm builds. And when I say country farms, I mean farmhouses. Wide open spaces of land, fields and fields of crops, and overall just big rural vibes. After 3 weeks of talking about building theory, we're back to our themed videos, which means that there's going to be a YouTube poll to decide the topic every single week. Keep an eye out for those. Anyways, let's cut the chit chat and get right into 7 quick tips for building country farms in Minecraft. Let's go. 1. There are many different kinds of farms. Pick the one that you think would be the most fun. Now, of course, when I say farms, I mean the real life farms. As cool as it would be, we're not going to be doing a redstone farming video. There's definitely better people to go watch if you want to learn about that. Sorry boys, my brain is small. I can't do redstone. Go find someone else if you want to learn about that. In the real world, a farm could be anything from a small one-person garden that grows a handful of different veggies to a huge industrialized mega food producer with acres and acres of land for wheat, corn, livestock, and whatever else they're trying to farm. All of these can be really fun to make, but choose wisely because they're very different. If you're making a small garden style farm, then you might want to lean into a more rustic or cottagecore kind of vibe, which is one of my favorites if you couldn't tell already. Think about an abundance of plants, vibrant colors, and natural textures such as wood, terracotta, and stone. These farms are also usually on a much smaller scale, which can be nice because that leaves room to really go nuts with the detailing. On the other hand, maybe you just want to lay down 10,000 million wheat seeds across an entire biome and call it a day. That's fine too. Big industrial farms in Minecraft are really dope and open the door to all sorts of cool machinery builds and big plantation style farmhouses. 2. The biome you choose changes a lot about your build. When people think countryside, they're probably going to think about a plains, a forest, maybe some mountains, or possibly even a swamp. You might be thinking, well, a farm's a farm, it doesn't really matter. And I get where you're coming from, but taking the biome into account can actually make your build a lot more interesting and in-depth. As you probably know already, in the real world, different kinds of crops grow at different temperatures and humidity levels. You wouldn't find sugarcane growing on the top of a mountain or pumpkins growing in a desert. Applying this logic to Minecraft, maybe you only want to grow a few kinds of crops out in the open, depending on your biome. A plains biome, for example, might be perfect for wheat, potatoes, and carrots, but not sugarcane or cactus. Even though this isn't a restriction that the game places on you, building in this way can be really fun. Mainly because it's an excuse to build up greenhouses and indoor temperature-controlled farming areas for the crops that just don't grow well in the outside environment. In my opinion, greenhouses are some of the most fun and beautiful things to make in Minecraft, so I really recommend trying it out. Maybe I'll make a greenhouse build tutorial sometime. Let me know down in the comments if you would like to see that. Here's a design for a greenhouse that I've put together to house my cactus and sugarcane because in my plains biome, they don't grow as well as the other crops. 3. No farm is complete without a barn. It just wouldn't be a farm build without a classic big red barn. I mean, let's be real. Of course, you don't have to include this, but come on, this is like the most iconic thing about farms. Here's one of my favorite designs for a barn that uses red concrete, spruce wood, and quartz. It's a tried and true design from all the way back in the ancient year of 2013 by Corrales, one of my favorite builders. Link to his tutorial video will be in the video description. Generally, I only use the exterior of his design, choosing to then fill the interior with my own stuff, but you can do whatever you like. Just know that I'm taking my own approach with the interior, so if you're watching his video, that's why it's different. 4. Vehicles and farm equipment is a must. Okay, this is something that I'm admittedly a big noob at, but it's just so important to a good country farm build that I just had to include it. Of course, I'm talking about vehicles. Every farm has got farm equipment, no matter the size. If you're building a super duper tiny farm, then maybe you don't need to worry about it, but even then, it really doesn't hurt to put in a tractor or like a large composter or something like that. For a big industrial farm though, you're gonna need something more. Think about a big mechanical combine harvester, fleets of tractors, or maybe even an entirely separate building for processing of the harvested materials. My farm here isn't quite on that scale, not really, but you can see that I've added in a couple cute little farm tractors. These things are adorable and you can make them in a variety of different colors. 5. You already know what we're doing next. It's time for the big boy farmhouse. Like everything else we've done this far, the farmhouse that you make really depends on the scale of your farm. Traditionally, a farm would have a big prominent house right in the center of the land or up on a hill or in some other recognizable location. It's where the owner and their family would live, and often these houses would be built in a colonial, old-fashioned style. The main thing to know about the colonial style is that the front door would always be featured right smack in the middle of the house, and you'd have some sort of grand archway or pillars surrounding it. With that in mind, let's get building. And the house is done, at least the exterior of it. For the block palette, I used a lot of quartz, smoothstone, banners, bone blocks, and brick, with deep slate on the roof and leaves for decorative bushes. While searching for old-fashioned farmhouses online, I found this image that I really liked, and as you can see, it became the inspiration for the in-game build. 6. Paths and infrastructure will make your farm seem more practical and lived in. Okay, so you've got a cool house, some crops, and maybe a couple vehicles. Let's now tie everything together. Path blocks are perfect for connecting the different parts of your farm. Or if you're making a larger farm with more vehicles, try a gravel road. Pathways are some of my favorite things to make in Minecraft, which sounds really weird and stupid, but it's true. They're fun. Here is a cool design for a footpath, and right next to it is the gravel road I was just talking about. But of course, you gotta detail these pathways too. Add in some shrubs, grass, bushes, fences, and little imperfections in the road to make these pathways seem used and weathered. 7. Your farm can be a lot more than just a place to grow crops. Up until this point, we've only been talking about growing plants, but there's many more things you can farm in Minecraft. Mainly animals. Now, of course, I don't support mass industrialized farming of animals, but at least in this game, you can give them open spaces and fields to roam in without too much difficulty. Maybe you want to take a section of your farmland and convert it into an open green space for cows, sheep, and pigs to roam freely. Or maybe add in some rocks and crevices and turn it into a goat preserve. With so many cool animals in the game, you can definitely find a creative way to incorporate them into your farm. And from a technical building standpoint, more mobs and other dynamic elements of your scene adds to the life and the character of your build. If you're just farming plants, then everything in your scene is going to be pretty static and quiet, but once you start introducing more motion through animals, then your build becomes a lot more lively. Alrighty fellas, I hope all you wonderful little PogChamps enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching to the end because I really appreciate it. If you liked what you saw, please like the video and hit that subscribe button so I get a little bit more of that sweet YouTube clout. Until next time, have a wonderful day my dudes, and check back next week for more 7 quick tips. Peace.